Okay, welcome to another rousing episode of the Mijigadog podcast. What episode is this? I don't know, like 6, right?
6.
Yeah!
Learn how to count.
It's hard.
Well, do it anyway.
But you know it's not hard? Talking about stupid stuff on the internet.
I guess it's kind of hard.
Well, you know what? How would you just be a negative Nancy over there, okay?
Okay, that's cool.
Alright.
So yeah, we got actually a shitload of stuff to talk about.
We've got 1, 2, 3, 5 things to talk about.
Probably less, but he's being optimistic.
You're optimistic.
No, I'm not. I'm a pessimistic asshole.
Well, some of us like to see the glass all the way full, okay? Because I'm thirsty.
What the fuck?
See what I did there?
Ahmad, are you high?
Maybe.
Ahmad, you grounded.
It's bullshit. You can't ground Spider-Man.
What the hell are you talking about?
You ever seen that picture?
No.
It's like fucking... You know, like... You ever seen, like... I usually don't like those meme pictures, but the ones that always make me laugh is the ones of, like, the crazy 60s Spider-Man cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And there's just one where he's, like, sitting on the bed, his arms across, and the caption's just like, this is bullshit. You can't ground Spider-Man.
I think I've seen that.
God. We should devote an episode to that show, because that show's insane.
No.
I will. It'll be an off topic.
Well, you do it by yourself because I don't want to do it. I'll see you okay.
I'll talk to myself. Episode 7, Ahmad goes insane.
It won't be episode 7. It'll be something different.
It'll be episode 6.5. Yes, Ahmad. I also agree with your opinion. Thank you, Ahmad. Anyway.
Ahmad, go jump off a balcony.
Which Ahmad?
You.
There's 2 of us.
Well, both of you jump off a balcony.
Okay, but you didn't account for the other Ahmad that lives upstairs.
The 3 of you!
Alright, so what we got?
We got
YouTube.
This Van Bleer thing who says that you want to, basically they're saying that if you want to record their games, you're more than welcome to, and they even created a generator that will automatically create a license for you for free.
That's fantastic. So, for some people who may not know, there's a thing on the internet, especially on YouTube, called Let's Play. And basically, it's you play a game, you show it off, you do commentary over it. If you want to be informative or funny or both, you can do that. Or you can just like fuck around like some YouTube channels do, like Game Grumps or so. And so yeah, it's been around since like what I want to say 2006 or so, and it's kind of taken off in the recent years. I remember hearing somewhere that like almost half of YouTube almost half of YouTube content is gaming content, and a lot of that is Let's Play stuff because you have guys like PewDiePie and Toby Games,
and he sucks.
And they do, but they're popular and people know them. So, yeah, Vlambeer... what game did he make?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Nuclear Throne. So, I haven't heard much about this game. I have a friend who's, like, been super into it, apparently. It's some kind of, like, it's kind of like some kind of shoot-'em-up game, I think, from what I can tell. I'm probably wrong. But, yeah, you play these little weird alien guys, and you run around and shoot stuff. But,
So it's basically to destroy all humans.
Well, not exactly, but because I don't think you're fighting humans, you're fighting something else. I can't. I don't know. I'd have to see more videos of it because I've only seen like screenshots and some art.
All right, so what do you think about the whole Let's Play situation in the first place?
Well, I'm usually okay with Let's Plays making money. I mean, it just depends. Cause like for indie games, it's great because you know you get your content done for free. And then if you want to be nice, you can be like, all right, you're advertising my game for me. You can make money off it. So because we both mutually benefit from it, of course. But then there's also shit like that scary game Amnesia.
Yeah.
The Dark Descent. PewDiePie was one of the most popular things he did was his series of Amnesia videos, and there's a ton of those. And I think the what's the development studio of Amnesia?
I don't know. It's not really the point.
But we gotta give him a shout out.
Well, they can look it up.
Frictional Games. It was developed by Frictional Games. Frictional Games didn't like PewDiePie's coverage of their game, and I use coverage in quotes because it wasn't so much coverage as him screaming over the video in scare cam form and subtitling it and making a bunch of rape jokes, and then not focusing on the game at all, which I feel should be the point of a Let's Play.
Well, here's my thought on that.
All
right. When you don't pay for advertising and you get someone else to do it for free, you kind of have to understand that people are going to... He's not explicitly advertising the game. He's more just advertising himself.
Of course, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And that's why that's their complaint, where it's
But that's the issue.
Yeah, because technically it's their content. They can say no if they want to. No, you can't play this game, or at least you can't monetize it.
But they're not paying him to do any of that.
Oh, of course not, and they never will.
Which is exactly my point. The problem is, okay, did they even advertise the game?
Yeah, they did. Remember, I think Amnesia was more of like a word of mouth kind of thing, because people were like, "Wow, this game's really cool," and then it really took off like 3 years ago or so.
I never.
And then yeah, it's just this, a lot of things about indie games were like with like Minecraft or Spelunky and stuff like that. A lot of it's like word of mouth. Because they're indie developers. They don't have the budget and the resources to make advertising like a big company would.
Yeah.
So a lot of it depends on that word of mouth, and Amnesia benefited greatly from that. A lot of indie games do, unless you're like Behemoth and you have the money to advertise it because you fucking own Newgrounds. But then you have to worry about people like PewDiePie, like, diluting your content because he's not really playing the game to play the game, he's playing it to make himself popular. And it's very apparent in what he does, where he'll put scare cams of himself over the video. In fact, when I looked up Amnesia: The Dark Descent, his, on one of the Google results is Toby Turner's, and then the next one's PewDiePie. So, yeah.
Alright, but I still don't see the problem.
Well, what do you mean?
I mean, okay, I don't like him either, but I don't see what the issue is.
It's not an issue. If you're saying that they shouldn't care because, well, either way the game's being advertised, technically that's true, but at the same time you don't want... I mean, if it was me, I don't want my game associated with somebody like that. It's just a matter of standards.
I guess, but you can't control that.
No, they can't. Well, technically they can. They can say you can't monetize it and tell YouTube to block that. I'm not sure if they did or not. If they did, I'm not aware of it. I'm actually not even sure if he's still making videos of Amnesia. I wouldn't be surprised, but,
To me, I just feel like that's going a little bit too far. At least to me.
Well, does it really harm PewDiePie that much? I mean, he can just pull out a video of Happy Wheels. Oh, actually, never mind, because the Happy Wheels guy wasn't happy about that either.
I don't know.
I don't know. I completely get where they're coming from, and I do think that even if you're advertising my game, you're giving it a negative image, and I don't like that. Because I don't really get the point of Amnesia LPs anyway, because it seems like a game you'd want to play for yourself, really, because it's a horror game. You don't want to see somebody else get scared, and it's retarded. Unless you like enjoy the reactions, but even then that gets old.
Well, I don't know. I'm just kind of impartial about the whole thing. I don't really know. I mean, right. I can't really express what I'm trying to get at. Like, man, I don't know. I mean, okay, I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't feel like okay, I don't like his videos. I think they're just kind of stupid and immature, but that's his fan base.
Of course.
And they're going to do that. They're going to enjoy that stuff anyway, regardless of the content. Mm-hmm. So they're not really concerned about the video game at all.
That's exactly the thing, because I get what you're saying that they shouldn't care because like that's not the people they're trying to appeal to. But at the same time, you still don't want like because basically that amounts to saying the idiots love this game. And it's like what? I mean, and we both know that's not the game they like. It's PewDiePie, but. And when to an outsider who doesn't know that, they're gonna assume, oh, I mean, you're just retarded, and then, I don't know if that happened, but I'm just saying hypothetically, it could happen, and I do see what they're coming from. I'm not saying that they should like just block PewDiePie, because I mean, I'm just saying that they totally can, and there's justification for it. I feel.
I don't know. It doesn't feel very justified to me. It just feels kind of.
Well, if you made a game like and you want people to not like act like you don't want screaming idiots to play your game, do you?
I don't care.
All right, fair enough.
Because I mean, if someone end up playing a game I made and they're acting like idiots, then they're just idiots.
All right, fair enough.
I mean,
I guess I see where you're coming from. There's a disassociation where it's like you shouldn't care if some idiot plays your game, because as long as other people who are not screaming idiots play your game and enjoy it, then that should be the most important thing.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm gonna make some really weird games, and I think you already know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I know that more than half that fandom, is just gonna be really weird with a lot of the stuff. You know, fan fictions, porn, so on and so forth. That stuff is just. It doesn't interest me, but there's nothing else I can do about it.
Right.
And and I understand that with PewDiePie, he's just one guy. You can easily just tell him to stop and tell Google, hey, this guy's is misrepresenting our product.
Right.
But it's a combination of you kind of wasting your time and your money off something like this, and in addition, if they're that interested in PewDiePie and that interested in the fact that they want to copy him, then they may go out and buy the game, and ultimately that leads to sales. And I understand that in the short run, it may sound like a good thing. In the long run, it sounds like a bad thing. But I kind of disagree with that.
All right. I totally get you though.
I mean, I don't like PewDiePie's way of doing anything.
Of course.
But
I mean, there's a reason why a lot of his fan base is admitted children, because that's the kind of because kids.
My
like
little brother likes them.
Of course.
Put it that way.
There you go.
And
I have a little cousin who loves like Toby games and shit like that because he's like 12.
He's like 14. And
yeah, it's about that age.
And he's basically a criminal in the making.
Jeez.
Yeah, I said it.
He's gonna rob the store and then videotape himself robbing the store with Scarecam.
You know what? I can see that happening.
Alright, but with this, the whole thing about monetization of LPs, Let's Plays, where it's like, I'm not sure if you heard earlier this year, there was the whole scare about Nintendo saying you can't monetize their videos anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they slowly, I think like a few months ago, they were just like, all right, let's just quiet. Then the backlash happened. They were like, all right. So they quietly just let it go and let people go back to monetizing their videos.
Yeah, that was like a few months ago.
Yeah, that was like, I want to say February-ish. And then up until like through summer. And then Nintendo quietly, yeah, like I said, just let it go.
Just let it happen.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't really care that much about monetization of LPs because I'm not a Let's Player. I don't really see that. I don't want to like make money off of Let's Play if I were to ever do it. Because I don't see the point. That's not my career path. That's not my job.
Which is ironic considering what this channel was going to be.
Oh yeah, that's right. This was gonna be a Let's Play channel. I mean, we weren't gonna do it for money, obviously, but yeah, this was gonna be a Let's Play channel, and then ended up being a podcast.
Yeah, we played Metroid in that PlayStation 1 game.
That weird, what was it, Harmful Park or some shit.
And
we might try that again, but I'm not ready just yet.
I kind of prefer this now.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, if we do it, it's gonna have to be in the same room.
Yeah, true.
Because if we don't do that, it's just gonna be harder to do.
If we ever do that, we need to get like a better setup.
Or better yet, you know what we can do in the future
What?
is play our own games.
That'd be cool.
Be kind of cool. I mean,
Well,
like,
that also goes back to like when there's people who hire people to hire actual Let's Players to play their games. And I'm trying to think of a good example. Never ever Let's Player called Super Great Friend?
no. See, here's the thing. I don't really watch a lot of LPs.
Me neither, but there's like 3 or 4 that I keep up with, because usually they produce really high
keep
quality
up with
stuff.
one. Like, I mean, like YouTube isn't all that interesting to me anymore.
No, definitely not.
It's just it's not even,
especially because the layout keeps getting more and retarded every year.
yeah, and it's not, and that's not even the reason. It's just the content itself isn't as interesting as it used to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it doesn't appeal to me as much, which is ironic considering this would be posted up on YouTube. So what does that tell you?
Thing I understand is like, 'cause I mean, did we talk about it on this podcast? Because you totally fucking called it. They're gonna implement Google Plus onto this shit, and they did with the comments, and it's awful.
Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, now you can't comment without Google Plus.
Yep, and I'm like, wow, that's. I guess if you hate shitty YouTube comments, that's great for you. But if you like to comment or you like to read retarded comments, and I sometimes do, admittedly.
Well, to be honest with you, it's not just about that. It's about the whole anonymous thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Google...
By this point, some people already know my name. I'm fine with that. But there's some people out there who don't want their name to be known.
That's fine.
And
they should have that right, but Google seems to be intent on becoming the next Facebook, and I think that's completely retarded, because if I want to use Facebook, I can use Facebook. It's right fucking there, and it's free, and it doesn't take much effort to use it.
And it's not pure shit.
Yeah, and it actually, works properly, unlike Google Plus, which has been around for 3 years and still doesn't work right.
It doesn't work at all.
Yeah, and no one will ever use it because Facebook exists and it's better.
You know what? Here's why Google Plus sucks.
All right.
Because it uses JavaScript. I know that sounds stupid, but hear me out.
All right, go for it.
I understand that JavaScript enables this whole, instant load, dynamic page, which is fine. But if you rely too heavily on it, then it begins to slow down the system, your PC.
Right.
And that causes problems. And Google has this fetish for JavaScript. It's ridiculous. And it just slows down, like go to Google Groups. The whole thing is JavaScript based, and it takes forever to load. And it's just glitchy. It's just, I don't know what's wrong with them. They have this fetish for JavaScript for some reason.
It's like the whole streamlining thing that's going on with technology nowadays, where Microsoft's doing it with they're trying with their with Windows 8, where they're trying to make it feel like it's all right there for you, and then Xbox One, it's all right there. You can play your games, watch TV, or whatever. And then Google's like that, where it's all right there for you, because they all want to be Facebook, because Facebook is Facebook basically unintentionally broke everything. Is the way I see it. And I mean, that might be unfair, because that's why I said unintentionally, because it's not their fault. Because I'm pretty sure he never anticipated that.
Yeah. But,
there's the idea where companies need to stop fucking trying to bandwagon, because if you want to be Facebook, it would just be smarter to just get a deal with Facebook, because I'm pretty sure Facebook's pretty open to that. They're not going to say no to Google.
Yeah.
It's fucking Google. They make $1 bajillion.
Yeah, and it would be so beneficial to Facebook if they just, they don't have to be bought out, but they could just add some kind of just extra feature to Facebook to make it easier to use.
Yeah.
Or at least make searching certain videos on Facebook, with YouTube or whatever. I don't know.
There's just something like that, just something that doesn't strip away everything we used to like about Google, and their services. Because I use the only Google service I use continuously that isn't YouTube is and obviously the search engine is Google Drive, and I'm so fucking scared they're gonna mess that up somehow.
They are, they're gonna.
I feel like it, because Google Drive is I don't feel like paying for fucking Word, and I can use this, and plus, no matter where I go, I can always log in and get to all my documents because it's right there.
the only other thing that I use for Google, actually there's two of them, would be Google Mail, and even then I'm thinking about switching.
I used to use Google Mail. For some reason, I never use it anymore. I just stick to my Yahoo or my
Yeah,
school email.
yeah, and Tumblr too.
And Tumble.
Tumblr. Blah, blah.
Yahoo owns Tumblr now,
And
right? Something like that.
and then I use their calendar because Windows for some reason does not have a calendar.
Well, define calendar. It has a
Like,
calendar right here.
well, it
Oh,
doesn't
do you mean like
like
a
tasks
planner?
and events like Christmas and stuff.
Yeah, day planner. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think it has
yeah.
that.
It doesn't include that, which would be.
If it does, I've never seen anybody use it, and that's probably that's probably why.
But here's the thing, they can include it with Windows Explorer. You know how when you click the bottom right of the screen
Yeah,
with the time and it just pops up a little calendar? Why not
Yep.
just do that?
because that would take effort. Nah, it probably wouldn't even be that hard. I don't know. It's just that they probably figure no one's really gonna use it because like
Well,
you said, Google Planner exists. So and you also have planners on your phone that come standard. And because no one,
Ahmad, there are a lot of things that are included in Windows that no one really uses.
true.
Like-
Is MS Sam still in Windows?
No, because of the whole soy thing, they just decided not to use it.
Soy thing?
Yeah, the whole uh,
I never heard of this. Tell me.
my
Explain
helicopter
to me.
goes soy, soy, soy.
Huh?
You know that whole helicopter thing.
I don't know, man. Tell me.
How do you not know? It's like it was all over the internet.
I've never used MS Sam. I have no interest in it.
That's not the
Aside
point.
from
It's
seeing in funny videos.
Okay, hold on.
Alright.
Shit.
Wow, we got way off topic. But yeah, I'm liking this topic. Keep going. And then explain this shit to me, and then we can move on to the next one. Because I want to know about soy. I like soy. I put it on my food. Soy sauce, soy meat, soy. I don't even know.
Okay, so it's Roffer-copter.
Oh, the little GIF thing that I see sometimes. Yeah, what about it?
No, it's not. Okay, look at this.
Podcast fun, sharing YouTube links.
Yay!
Oh, I've seen this before. Yeah.
Yeah, that. You see, it's a glitch, and they just decided, you know what? Let's just make a whole new thing altogether. But here's the thing: I don't know what thing Windows 8 has, since I never really use it.
I have no idea what 7 has because, like I said, I have no
I
interest
think
in
it's
it.
Anne.
Man, how do you even find that? I don't know where it is.
I don't know.
It's lost deep inside the 7.
Yeah, but here's the thing. There are a lot of features that not everyone uses, but that's the point of Windows, is for you to give options for different things.
And that's exactly it. Because I love that. Because that's what Google used to be. Because even if you didn't use it, they had show you can customize your shit, and it's great. But then they take that away from you, and like you said, now you can't be anonymous anymore. And I understand the reasoning for that, but at the same time, I don't fucking care. If I want to be anonymous, I can be anonymous. That's kind of the whole point.
Yeah. But this is Google. They're being butt spankingly retarded as of late, so...
Everybody trying to be Facebook 5 years after Facebook.
Alright, so let's talk about Sonic now.
Sonic! It's not good. It's not good.
Have you played Sonic Lost World?
Okay, when I was at Comic-Con, I played 2 levels of it, and I thought it was alright. I didn't like the first level, the Windy Valley place, because it was this is too much like Mario Galaxy. And then I played the casino level, and now I'm like, alright, this is more like Sonic, I like this. And then the friend I was playing it with, he didn't like it much. He said it was it's too Mario-ish. And he didn't like that. One of the stages was kind of like an endless runner thing, and he didn't like that. And I thought it was neat. It's a little... My only complaint was it felt a little slow. And that's apparently the main complaint I see a lot in the reviews. Level design's not great. Some levels are cool, and then some levels are And then the controls are actually pretty decent, because that's something that Sonic has had trouble with for a long time. And then they kind of nailed it here. But he's slow, and that kind of...
And see, that's the problem. ultimately is a combination of speed and controls. The problem with speed is that the faster you go, the harder it'll be to control that character.
Yeah, and I appreciate what they went for, where it's like you can control the amount of speed you can do, and it's like 3 steps of speed. And then that would have worked if they just, if they, one, fix the level design where you can go faster and not have to worry about crashing into everything, and two, made it faster.
I think even Sonic 2 had that problem, at least for me.
Sonic.
Because I played it recently again, and I was just kind of like, ugh. I was going like super fast, going yeah, and then all of a sudden, boop.
You gotta stop at something to do something. Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 are like they're some of my favorite games, but even I gotta admit, like they got some levels are like, wow, this was not designed for you to go fast.
And I think that's the whole problem with the Sonic franchise is the whole concept of speed.
It's more the concept of speed and trying to also be a platformer, but the levels are not designed for that. And I think that when Rayman Origins came out, and that game was amazing, and that game, because that game is all about the high speed platforming, and I was saying to people, I was like, that's what I think Sonic should be, where the levels are designed for you to keep moving, and if you fuck up, it's because you weren't going fast. Rather than trying to have it both ways, where it's like, we're going to try to do Mario platforming, and then Sonic speed, and it's like, you can't do that.
Yeah, I don't see how you can do that, because Mario games are, I want to say, well, they're slower than Sonic.
Well, yeah, they're way slower than Sonic, because that was the whole point of Sonic. Like, that it's an anti-Mario, you're fast.
I want to say way slower, because, like, go play a lot of the older 2D ones, and they're pretty fast, at least by today's standards.
But that's, I think, because a lot of times when you're in 2D, you're always faster than you are in a 3D game, because there's less space to cover, because you only go 2 directions.
Actually, 4 if you count up and down.
Oh, yeah, true, but
jerk.
But then there's, but when you're in a 3D game, there's like a billion directions to go, so yeah. Like Galaxy is obviously going to feel way slower than like Mario 3 or whatever.
Yeah, but it's still very fun.
Oh yeah, of course. That's like one of my favorite platformers. Mario Galaxy 2 is like fucking amazing. But yeah, the reason why we brought Sonic Lost World is because it didn't do well in Japan.
It crashed and it burned.
And it
exploded and it failed.
Fell apart.
And it only got less than 5,000 units sold on the 3DS
about
version.
4,575 units in the opening week.
I couldn't hear you, so I'm going to repeat what you probably just said. It got sold less than 5,000 units on the 3DS, and so just a little bit more, so a little more than 2,000 on the Wii U.
Yep, and that's bad. It's not good. Jeez.
It's terrible.
And I really don't think it's mostly... Well, okay, one thing about Sonic is that not a lot of people know, Sonic's not really super big in Japan. I mean, he's big, but like, they like Mario more and stuff. They like cutesy characters more, and Sonic's cute, obviously, but he's designed, his whole point was like attitude, and that's kind of his whole thing. And then he was very much clearly designed to compete in a Western market, and that's what he's designed for. That's why his games do so well over here. Because even Sonic 06, that game did, it sold pretty well.
How well did it do over here?
Pretty good, actually. I forgot the exact numbers because that was like a long time ago, but it did pretty good for what it was. Huh. Sonic games traditionally sell pretty well in the West, and usually Japan, but I think that's also a combination of the Wii U and how nobody fucking bought that thing. Yeah,
which is, I can't tell if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I know Iwata recently said he was not happy with sales projections and it wasn't looking good. So, yeah, it's definitely a bad thing.
Well, I'm talking about in terms of gamers. Like does it tell Nintendo, something about their system, about the way they think about things?
I think because I never heard anybody complain about the system itself. It's just that the system has no games, and that's just the main problem. It's this $300 system that nobody wants to buy because there's nothing on it.
Fair enough.
And I do think it'll pull itself out of that rut eventually, but I don't ever think it'll obviously never be Wii numbers.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the GameCube.
Yeah, it'll be GameCube 2.0, where it'll have some really great Nintendo first party and some good third parties here and there that'll keep it afloat, and people will buy it, and it'll do all right. But it's very clear that PS3, PS4, Xbox One are shaping up to dominate this generation.
Yeah, and that's no surprise considering Nintendo's history, which is unfortunate because they have a lot of great first-party games.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's their whole
you
thing.
have to be a special kind of stupid to think that first-party Nintendo games are bad.
Yeah.
Just
unless they're made by other developers, and then I guess technically it's not first party.
And even then, sometimes they can do it right with like Kirby's Epic Yarn. Objectively,
that was just HAL, right?
Objectively, it wasn't a bad game. And it was
people like that game.
It's pretty fun. And then you have
it's babby platformer, but it's pretty fun. But then again, every Kirby is.
And then you have the Metroid Prime.
Made by Retro, and that game and all three of those games are really goddamn good.
And then you have the Donkey Kong Country games.
Yeah, then you have Rare, and those games are amazing.
So yeah, I mean,
actually, amazing too. I was never much of a Donkey Kong Country guy.
Well, me neither.
I completely admit they're good games. I just never really liked them that much.
Yeah.
And then if anybody's listening to this, they're just like fucking dislike. Moving on.
That's okay. Sorry. I don't care. I do this for fun. I don't do this for views or...
YouTube will be mad at me. But yeah, another game that I was excited about that didn't sell well was Rayman Legends on the Wii U. And it sold like, what? In Japan, it sold under 1,500 copies. And that's bad. That's abysmal.
That's even worse than Sonic.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the thing about Rayman is that it's basically my favorite franchise. There's a lot of good games in it. But Ubisoft's retarded and doesn't really take the steps necessary to advertise it properly or go through the lengths.
And that's the biggest problem that many companies face.
Yeah, where it's like, they'll dump $1 bajillion into, like, here's the new Assassin's Creed, but when Rayman comes out, it's like, oh, here's Rayman, by the way. And then there was a whole thing about Rayman originally going to be a Wii U title, Wii U exclusive. They were like, we're not going to make any money. And then decided to move it onto all consoles. And then they were like, then they pushed it to September. And then I was like, that's retarded because Grand Theft Auto comes out then, and everyone's gonna buy Grand Theft Auto and not Rayman.
And you know what?
And that's basically what happened.
You know what? I think I know the reason why that happens. It's because that many companies think that kid games don't really need advertising, that they're either going to sell very well, or no matter what, they're not going to sell anyway.
Yeah. Because Origins didn't sell well, and it's also because they didn't really I only ever remember seeing one commercial for Origins.
I don't remember seeing any commercial.
And they aired them at they just aired them at weird time slots and shit like that, and I was like, that's great.
Yeah, that's not gonna get anyone to buy the game. Whereas, I saw Skylanders being advertised at the theater.
Yeah, and that shit was huge because Activision, fucking, that's the money.
They know how to advertise
toys and games. Kids love that shit.
Well, not even that, because Activision knows how to advertise games.
Yeah. And
they're actually
they don't
really
know how
good.
to make games. They don't know how to make good games, but they can advertise them. Well, Activision makes some good games. Yeah. They're not Acclaim. Acclaim's never really made a good game, except for one, and it's Revolt, and nobody bought that game.
Well, actually, I have to disagree because Extreme G isn't that bad.
I never played that game.
That's actually good.
That's Acclaim.
I mean, well, yeah, it's Acclaim. It was made by Probe, but they published it. And but the sequel kind of sucks. But the original game is fucking fantastic. If you have an N64 lying around and you want to play a good, fast-paced racing game, definitely give Extreme G a chance.
That's the weird thing about N64. A lot of racing games are really good.
Yeah, it's a really good system for that.
Yeah.
It's like the NES was great for platformers, Super NES was great for RPGs, and for N64 it was racing games.
It was multiplayer, racing, shit like that.
And the GameCube was good for... What?
The GameCube was good as a lunchbox. I'm kidding. It's like we said about the Wii U. It's good for first party.
And that's about it, unfortunately.
That's it. Resident Evil Remake was really good. The game's fucking pretty. It's still to this day.
I've never played it.
Oh god, if you ever just look at the pre-rendered backgrounds of the game.
I've seen it. I just never played it.
Oh, okay. Then you know how insanely good it looks for a GameCube game.
Yeah, I mean, it's
and
ridiculous.
even today, it's there's not many. Jeez, I can't talk. There's
No,
not
you can't.
a lot of games that have that level of polish.
Yeah.
Because that's Nintendo's like thing. Because like our console isn't that powerful. We'll just focus on making it look super good for what it is. And then yeah, so Sonic Lost World, Rayman Origins didn't do well, and I think that's part of
Just marketing and also,
well, not in Sonic's case, but they marketed the hell out of the game because Sonic.
yeah. But you can't do anything with Sonic with that in mind.
Yeah, you
so.
can't really do anything if it's on Wii U, it's not really destined to sell that well.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That's the same thing about and then another game, Wonderful 101, which another game that was really good, platinated, Bayonetta,
Yeah.
Mad World, shit like that. That game's really great, and I've only played a bit of it, but I really liked it. And apparently that game's even more insane than Bayonetta. So when I get a Wii U and I get that, I'm definitely getting that game, and I want to see about that. And then yeah, it didn't sell that well because nobody owns a Wii U, and then also because it's a platinum game, and everyone's like, "What the fuck's platinum?"
Which is understandable.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, but
sadly.
Yeah. Now I want to change the topic to the whole graphene thing. Now, some of you are kind of going, "What is graphene, John?" Well, basically, it's our future.
All right.
I mean,
that's a bold claim.
I know some people are going to be watching this going, "What are you talking about, John?" But I got to say, it's pretty cool. Basically what it is, it's almost a replacement for silicon. Silicon has been in your processors forever.
Pretty much.
So now they've come up with something that's different. It's similar to graphite, what you find in pencils.
Mm-hmm.
But
and from the picture I've seen, it looks kind of like aluminum, sort of. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm looking at the wrong picture. This is silicon, my bad.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's not the same thing. But
aluminium.
But yeah, it's similar to graphite, but it's different. I don't know how. Don't ask. But supposedly it's supposed to be like a better version of silicon because it's way more efficient and can transfer information much faster. So it's really and it's supposed to replace silicon as a semiconductor material and make our chips faster and smaller and that could mean that our and also it also means that our batteries will become much quicker to recharge.
That sounds good.
So like if you have an electric car, you know how those take 1 billion years to charge up, but this could definitely replace those.
All right.
And I'm really all for that because I think one of my biggest issues with electric cars is that they take forever to charge up, and it's just a huge hassle. With your iPod, you expect it to take a little while to charge up. You're okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
But for a car, you when you're pumping gas, you want to get there and get in and get out. And this
for me, I never understood the point of electric cars. Just to go off on a little tangent for a second. I mean, obviously, I get the point, but I don't get how they're supposed to be more efficient because aren't you still using electricity, which still uses power?
This should help out with the whole pollution thing. Just help. It's a step in the right direction. That's the idea behind it.
I guess, but I guess if you're thinking about car emissions, but at the same time, if you're using electricity from and electricity uses coal and shit, that's still pollution.
We're not entirely.
Well, I know it's still less, but it's still a little weird.
But okay, you can get electricity from the sun, from wind, from water. And
how long does that take to Is there any solar powered cars that are viable on the market?
I don't know, and I don't think those will really work out as well. But what can help out is have it so that way each gas station, each recharging station could have solar panels nearby, and that could help out.
Right.
And I'm just saying that it's a potential thing that could really be useful. I don't know, but I mean graphene looks great. If this turns out to be a thing, then this will definitely change everything.
Okay.
So, and I'm all for that. And actually, it says right here that graphene can be made in a DVD burner.
Yeah, I saw that with the little thing over the disc, and I was like, wow, what the hell?
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't get that. I don't understand it. But I mean, I'm not really big on chemistry, so it doesn't really click with me.
Science.
Science.
It's weird.
It's weird, but it's fantastic.
It's fascinating. Too bad I don't know anything about science.
Same here, but it still looks great. If this turns out to be true, then holy shit.
We'll have blazing fast computers capable of playing 10 Crisis games at once.
Oh my god, that would be boring as hell. Because I played Crisis one time and I thought it was pretty
I've only played like a little bit of Crisis 2, and I was like, it's okay. And then I just never touched it again.
Yeah, it's one of those games where it looks good, but it plays pretty like.
And it only looks good if you have a good enough computer, from what I hear.
Yeah, and even then, I always say that gameplay is important.
Of course.
The most important thing.
Or like Crisis, I'm like, I remember there was some like fucking X playlist or something like back in like '08 or whatever. It was like it was like the most realistic games. I'm sorry, the best graphics. And then they're like, Crisis 2 is not the winner. Metal Gear Solid 4 is because they were like, realism isn't important. And I was like, I can agree with that, I guess.
Yeah, to me, it's more of taking advantage of current hardware and having a good art style.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just have realism, then it's like, oh great, look at all those polygons. Can you do something with those polygons that are actually interesting?
Which makes for a good segue to Xbox.
More like Xbone.
Yeah, Xbox.
They have this issue with the system, which apparently it can't handle high resolution.
Well, it just has lower resolution than PlayStation 4. Okay, so PlayStation 4.
Okay, here's the thing.
Go on.
What is Xbox's resolution?
Okay, so a big fucking deal was like they were like, we're gonna have Xbox One Xbone run at native 1080p.
Yeah.
And then PS4 claimed the same thing. And then here we are months later. PS4 does run 1080p as far as people know. And I think, what was it, Battlefield 4 is Battlefield 4 is shown as like that runs 1080p on PS4. But then I almost said 360. Xbone it runs 720p native. And the guys at Infinity Ward who are developing Call of Duty Ghosts or whatever, they said that Call of Duty runs 720 native on Xbone compared to PS4 where it runs 1080p.
How are we in 2013 and we can't run 1080p?
I'm just baffled at this point. Because the whole so basically, from what it seems to be, they made a big deal about this super fucking console that was like, it's super powerful. And they're gonna tell me that it's $100 more for a game for something that's less powerful than the PlayStation 4?
Yeah,
really?
I'm just gonna get PS4. I'm not even gonna bother the Xbone.
I mean, I don't really give a shit because I don't want Xbone. I don't want Xbone either. I'm not really too hyped for the PS4 myself. But like, but that's kind of thing where it's like, what was any of this then? What was the point? You wasted a whole year. You took all this backlash for something that doesn't even run. That isn't as powerful as you said it was. And then you're trying to backpedal and say, no, we never said that. It's like, but you did. You did. It was the most.
Here's the worst part about it all. People are still going to go out and buy the Xbone.
Of course they. I mean, I'm not going to get mad at them because if you want to play the new Halo, or you want to play Killer Instinct, that's fine. That's your thing. And if you're such big fans of that. But I mean, I'm not the kind of gamer. It's like I won't unless it depends, I guess. Because I mean, I guess it's not fair. Because I would buy a Wii U because I wanted to play Bayonetta 2 because I really want to play that game.
The only reason why I might buy a Wii U would be for the future Mario game, Kirby game, Legend of Zelda, and that Wind Waker game.
Yeah, again, first party shit.
Yeah, first party, like really first party shit.
Nintendo always brings their game to first party, but it's just. I mean, if you want to play Call of Duty Ghosts, it's the same fucking game on each console. We know that. That's not anything new. but like it's just a matter of preference where it's like, do I care about how this game looks? And then a lot of people do, so it's like, okay, I'm gonna pick a PS4 because it plays at 1080, just off the bat, and then like that's what you want.
Can the PS4 play at even higher resolutions than that?
Beats me, probably not. At least not now.
That sucks.
Can you go? What the hell's higher than 1080?
You can go much higher.
I know, but I'm saying like, what's the next step?
I don't know.
I'm dumb. I don't know anything about resolutions because I usually don't pay attention to that unless.
I mean, I guess you could say 140. Okay, 1440p, which is like.
So 1444p.
Yeah, 14. No.
Oh, sorry, 1440p. Man.
Yeah, I don't know why I said all that, but 1440p could be the next.
For some reason, in my head, I was like, I added extra 4 because there's 2 4s there, so it's just some weird.
Yeah, and I didn't think about what I was saying, so.
It's fine.
But yeah, and that's pretty high resolution. Yeah. But it's not like that. Like PCs can handle much higher than that.
Well, of course, because PCs are if you build when you build your PC, you're like, I want to play fucking games. I want like I say, I want to play Crysis 3 at like the max fucking resolution.
Yeah, but I think that we need to start moving away from 1080p at some point.
We will, but for now, that's kind because 1080p hasn't been a thing for too long, to be honest. It's only been a thing since like 5 years now. Less than that, maybe, or at least we haven't cared about it. We only started caring about it maybe, at least like 3 years ago.
I'm looking up like even high resolution stuff
because HD TVs became more prevalent, HD computers, HD everything. But then that's not even like the biggest part about how stupid the X-Bone resolution thing is. Then you have the gaming press defending the X-Bone in the most retarded way possible.
It's gaming press. What do you think?
I know they're dumb. They don't know. They're just most of them are just giant corporate shills. We know that. We've accepted that by now.
All right, I want to stop you and go back to something real quick and say that the next possible resolution could be 2060p.
Ooh.
Or 2160p, which is like it's 2 times the resolution of HD or full HD.
Jeez, is there anything like that now that uses it?
Not really. I mean, we're getting close, but not anywhere near that.
Not just yet. Maybe in another year.
But hey,
at least because I remember it was TVs first, where it was like HD TV, and then it's like, okay, now everything else has to catch up.
Yeah.
And so that'll probably be
maybe about 3 years.
Yeah, not a year. That's stupid. 3 years. It makes the most sense. I don't know, the way technology's moving, it feels like I'll make a projection, and it's like way earlier than that. It's like, oh wow.
Yeah,
but I said, I don't know anything about technology.
I know enough just to have a decent discussion.
Right.
But that's about it. Like, I know someone's gonna be watching this 10 years into the future and be going, what?
And be like, when assholes.
No,
10 years from now when they have their 5000p.
Oh, Jesus.
Actually, Jesus, what was that? That's basically just virtual reality.
I'm
kidding, I know. But yeah.
I mean, to me, I think that we're going to begin stagnating with resolution. Like,
probably, because like, where can you go at this point? We're at the point where it's like almost realistic.
And even then, it's kind of like, okay, what we need to focus on now would be color depth.
Well, that would another thing that makes me mad, where it's like when I expected more processing power this generation, when they said that, I expected more, more the processing actually being used more rather than just making games look prettier, and I hate that. Because I mean, like, with like, one game I really liked back on the last generation was Uncharted. And Uncharted did a really neat thing where it's like, because a lot of things in games is like, the thing that makes the game look good is textures. We know that.
Yeah.
That's like fucking fact. And textures are super goddamn expensive to do. So that's why only like the big AAA titles look really that good, because they have those great textures and those lighting systems and shit like that. And then like Uncharted did a really neat thing where instead of using photos like most games did, they use paintings for their textures, and it makes the game look really, really bright and pop. It has a lot of pop to it, and it's really colorful.
Yeah,
that's why the game looks so nice. But then but now it's like, I don't know, I expected more of this processing power. I'm like, we could do so much more. And for what I hear, that the PS4 is like, I almost said OS. What the fuck? Interface, I guess. It takes up like a ton of processing power, and I'm like, it shouldn't though.
Yeah, and I don't know why.
That's such poor use of your power.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I probably won't be getting a PS4 until like next year, and
It's
even
like
then,
until there's at least 10 games I want on it, because I'm not making the same mistake that there was with the PS3.
yeah. So I don't know so I'm not paying too much attention to the PS4 in terms of like what it's doing.
Yeah.
But if it's taking up too much, processing power to load the freaking, startup menu, then that's a problem.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I might be wrong. I just heard that. I don't know if it's the exact thing, but like, I heard that they do a sizable chunk of it is just for the interface, and I'm just like, why?
I don't know.
What's on the interface that I really need to use that much space? That processing power would be better used towards games.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll be more effective later down the line, because that's kind of similar to what happened last generation, where like, as we got further along, we started to figure out more shit to do with this processing power, and the game started getting better.
That's every console ever.
Yeah, every console. So I know it'll get better, but just
like go play Kirby's Adventure for the NES, and then compare it to like an older NES game. The Kirby's Adventure had some of the best graphics for the system.
Or like the fucking Batman NES game that came like at the end of the NES, like near end of the NES, and that game looks almost like a SNES game. How good it looks.
I mean, and then there's Battletoads, which looks kind of like a Master System game. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Sega Master System, their 8-bit system.
Yeah.
And Master System looks really good.
Yeah, it looks really good. I mean, it was much better than NES.
Yeah.
Although I have to say the NES had better sound.
Oh, of course.
Which I don't know why.
Sega never really quite figured out how to make their consoles have really good sound, except for the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
They got it with the Dreamcast, but it was too late because the Dreamcast bit the shit.
Nintendo wins.
It's technically Sony, you want to remember.
Nintendo wins.
Nintendo lost because they were like,
Nintendo wins.
We could have had our own PlayStation, but we said no.
They would have killed everyone if they used disc.
Yeah, they would have at least had more third-party support.
No, they would have killed everyone. They wouldn't.
Well, then there would be no one else when you think about it, because there's no PlayStation. And then, like, what the fuck? The Saturn's gonna do something about it? The Saturn's garbage.
But that's my point. They would kill everyone. Yeah.
But they killed the Saturn regardless. So no matter what, the Saturn never had a chance because it was the Saturn.
Still, if the N64 had a larger texture cache with disc, they would have won.
Yeah, of course. And the games would have been way cheaper to produce.
And Square would have still remained with Nintendo. And they
wouldn't. One laughable thing about the N64 is the Spider-Man game. There was a Spider-Man game on the PS1 and N64. And the main difference on the PS1 version is that it has full motion video cutscenes. And then, because they can't do that on a cartridge for the N64, they just use like these shitty slideshows with like in comic book panel form, and they're just screenshots of the full motion video from the PS1 versions. I'm like, that's depressing.
Didn't the N64 had like better anti-aliasing?
Oh, of course. It looked better, but at the same time, I don't know. It was just kind of neat where it's like,
I kind of want to go back in the past.
PS1 version.
Otherwise,
they're not too different.
I actually would love to see an N64 game being like remade to the point. Well, no, I like to see someone make the N64 like again, but with like better textures and.
Well, have you ever seen those things where like people emulate like Ocarina of Time and put like modern textures on it? It looks amazing.
Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, I don't know. It's hard to explain what I'm trying to talk about. All right, we gotta finish this up real quick because we're.
Yeah, I got way off topic. I was talking about how retarded the gaming press is about this thing. So, they're defending the Xbox's lower power in like a weird roundabout kind of way, because they're saying that that stuff doesn't matter. But then at the same time, but then like a generation ago, they were saying that shit did matter because they were getting on other consoles for that, and they're like the Wii is like fucking tiny and garbage because it runs at 480p and it's not as powerful as the other two consoles. And then but then they have this now where it's like that doesn't matter, and I'm just like, then what? What's your point?
Because,
Nobody's saying that it doesn't matter. We're just saying that we're just stating facts. Isn't that your job? I don't care about your fucking Microsoft bias, and it's very clear that you have it.
yeah, I don't understand half the media.
And the most baffling thing is when fucking Adam Sessler, a guy I used to really like, just comes out and does the same thing, and it's the most insane. It's the most he sides with the retarded people defending that, and I'm just like, what are you doing?
I haven't seen that video yet.
Don't watch it.
Is it cringeworthy?
Yeah, it really feels like, wow, I don't know if you just went insane or you sold out super hard, but yeah.
Which is ironic considering he says he's against that.
Yeah, and then I'm like, you're full of shit, dude.
Everyone's full of shit but me.
Like, he moved in with his parents a few years ago. He had to move back in with his parents because he didn't have any money.
Well, that was before he went with Rev.
Oh, then yeah, so that's probably why he went with Rev, because he needed money.
Yeah, and I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like that guy is just... It became all about the money for him, and that's kind of depressing.
I kind of disagree, but I do think that he has... I think my biggest problem...
No, you're right. I'll take that back. I feel like it might have... I'm hoping it hasn't, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think that with gaming press media in general, it's reaching a point where it's like, okay, everyone's selling out now.
Yeah.
It just feels that way. I don't know.
And at least nowadays, it's really easy to tell who's sold out, because like, you have the hilarious DMC thing a while back. Yeah, the hilarious DMC thing, where it was obvious Ninja Theory was buying reviews for that game.
Oh yeah.
On Twitter and shit like that.
And
then it's just the gaming press is a mess. It's not a press. It's a PR firm. And I think we've all of us have realized that now. And then the weirdest thing is that when they'll complain when people bash them for that, but you can't complain when you know that's your job every day. I don't understand the giant hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Where it's just them getting mad at us for complaining that the fact that they're not giving us accurate coverage, even that's their job? Like, what? Of course we're mad at you.
I mean, by this point, I don't give a crap about...
I don't either, but just...
About the media, because I'm just like, you know what? Forget you guys. I have better things to do. I'm going to go play games that I want to play. Plain and simple. So I don't really care what Adam Sessler, Morgan Webb, Morgan Freeman, Adam Sandler... I don't care what they think, so...
Adam Sandler's game reviews.
Actually, he does play games.
He did, really?
Yeah, he played Shadow of the Colossus.
Sounds kind of funny.
Yeah, and it made me go, wow, really?
Huh.
So, and he legitimately played it in a movie. Like they showed screenshots, they showed gameplay footage, everything, and they say he, like, when they were filming it, he was legitimately playing it while acting at the same time.
That's kind of neat, because usually in most movies they'll just like they'll just have some idiot smashing buttons like, I'm playing a video game.
Like, no, you're not.
And it's like, yeah, it's like you're clearly not.
I don't mind it in animation, because it's kind of hard to replicate that.
You don't have time to fucking animate. And I don't mind it too much in movies either, because like, I mean, who really cares? But it's still a little weird where it's like you're not playing a game though.
Like, I like to see more actors like legitimately try to replicate that feel,
or at least fake play the game a little bit more realistically.
Yeah,
like you don't mash buttons. You can
just press a few buttons every now and then.
Yeah, it looks like you're actually playing
keep the control stick tilted in different directions, and that will make it way more realistic, even if you're not playing a game.
Ahmad and Johnny explain direction to actors.
And yet we can't act with the shit.
We can't act for shit.
Yeah,
actually, Johnny, it was. I'm not actually the real Ahmad. I was just an actor playing him.
Yeah, you're fired. Anyway, we got to end this episode.
All right. This episode is sponsored by nobody because it's over.
I guess, maybe. So Ahmad,
we're actually sponsored by Adam Sessler.
Yeah. So Ahmad, you end the episode by doing something funny.
Um, so I was walking to the store one day.
Peanut.
You